if you've moved here more recently, you might not even realize that you moved into a new apartment building that used to be on a landfill. This episode of CU Live is sponsored by our friends at MORPC, the Mid-Ohio Regional Planning Commission, and features stories about local and regional partners that envision and embrace innovative directions in economic prosperity, transportation, sustainability, and an inclusive Central Ohio. MORPC's transformative programming, innovative services, and public policy initiatives are designed to promote and support the vitality and growth in the region. For more information, visit morpc.org or click the link in the video description. Hi, welcome to CU Live. My name is Walker Evans. I'm the co-founder of ColumbusUnderground.com. Joining me today is Tobi Otulana, an associate planner at MORPC, the Mid-Ohio Regional Planning Commission. Hi, Tobi.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us.
Happy to be here.
Cool. So I heard that you guys are working on some new stuff related to Brownfield cleanups.
Yes.
You said there was a grant that MORPC recently received to work on that in Central Ohio.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more about what exactly that means, and if people are unfamiliar with brownfield cleanups, what does that mean?
Yes, I'm glad to share. So MORPC recently received a $600,000 grant from United States EPA, which is exciting for us. It's not an organization that we tend to receive funds from. Mm-hmm. And this money is specifically allocated to us to distribute to the 15-county region around Central Ohio for brownfield assessment projects. And I'll start by saying what a brownfield is.
Sure.
A brownfield is a site or a property where the past use, maybe the current use or the past use of the site create a potential for there to be environmental contamination. Mm-hmm. So commercial uses, industrial uses, warehouses, maybe debilitated buildings that are older, maybe have materials that they were built with that are now banned by the EPA, so asbestos, lead, things like that, where there's opportunity for redevelopment, but not until we start to clean some things up first. So that's what a brownfield is. And these funds are going to help communities around Central Ohio do the first step of brownfield cleanup process. And that first step is what we call an assessment. Mm-hmm. There's two phases to the assessment, phase 1 and phase 2. And these funds will fund those projects, and that's the first step. And then after these projects are funded, communities or developers or property owners will be able to move forward with the cleanup process through the state or through the federal government.
Yeah, I know that there's been quite a few of these kinds of projects in the recent past in kind of the urban core of Columbus, which is really interesting to think about, because if you've moved here more recently, you might not even realize that you moved into a new apartment building that used to be on a landfill or on an old industrial factory site where, they spent 100 years putting contaminants into the ground.
Right.
So really important work to be able to make sure that all that stuff is cleaned up, for commercial or for residential use, right?
Absolutely. When we think about equity and communities that have been disproportionately affected by environmental contamination, this is our opportunity to address that, to understand what are the problems, and then start to figure out how to correctly address them so that we're not seeing continued environmental pollution or contamination that's disproportionately affecting people in certain areas.
Cool. Without grants like these from the EPA, would you say that it's time prohibitive and cost prohibitive for like a private developer to come in and build on an old brownfield site versus a greenfield, like somewhere just kind of suburban sprawl, replacing a cornfield or something like that?
Absolutely. It's difficult because you don't know what you're getting into if you haven't gone through that assessment. And so this grant is intended to help communities, or there might be developers or property owners who have it already and they're stuck with it and they want to do a cleanup. This can help them as well. But this money can also help communities that know that they have an area that they want to have some private interest, for redeveloping, but there is this environmental contamination issue. So this is the first step to helping communities understand, at the very least, what is it that we need to address before we can move forward with development.
Cool. Well, it's very exciting work, just because it's so important, So thanks for taking the time to share a little more about this with us today.
Yeah, my pleasure.